Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Show me a 10X if you're ready to go tonight. This is 10X Owners Live. Brandon Dawson coming up in just a second. Here we go.
The whole purpose of this show is to engage with business owners and be able to answer questions for people that will give them some insight and perspective on how to grow and scale a business. Not only leadership, but real life examples. This is the golden moment. I would do business with you right now.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Where are the Dawsons? Do we have the Dawsons? Are they unmuted? Are the Dawsons ready to go? I don't hear them. Are we still missing them? Did you unmute them, Bryce? Sticky. Okay, well, I guess we're having technical difficulties. I don't see the Dawsons here. I heard they were here, but I don't hear them yet. So while we wait for Brandon and Natalie, here's what we're going to start with. Your biggest issues in your business. So when you think of the 4 pillars, we've already discussed what they are. We've talked about marketing and sales, people, operations, right, and finance. Where right now do you feel the pressure? I like to take data. So let's talk about where you feel the most pressure in your business. Let's see collectively. I see people. Adrian says people. Marketing. Oh, you guys are going fast. Jean says promotion. Use the chat, guys. This is live. This is why we do this every Tuesday. Joe says scaling. So let's put that under operations, but it could be scaling of people. Matt says marketing. Jared says operations, more finance. I see. So this is really interesting. Right now, I believe it's a tie between marketing and operations. Finance is coming in third. People's coming in fourth. Usually marketing and people are the 2 biggest that we get because those are the ones that are most recognizable. Those are the ones, we often talk. There he is. Are we in? We're in.
Hey, we're here. Here's the thing. We are in Mexico. We just landed. They're bringing up a cable, but we have shaky Wi-Fi, so we get bounced out. So can you even see us right now?
We can see you. You look great. You look great.
Can we just tell you something? We're here to kick off the celebration of our wedding this week. So here's everybody on 10X Owners. We just landed, just walked off the plane.
But we don't drink on 10X Owners Live, so we'll save this for later.
Never smoke cigars with Grant.
Well,
never drink.
That's a little different.
Congratulations. The celebration kicks off early. I love it.
Kicks off early. So we are excited to be here. We love this 10X Owners Live crowd. The only way we know if you guys can hear us and we haven't glitched out, Buck, is if you keep moving around a little bit, like do the Buck bobblehead. There you go. That way we know we're good.
No, you're good.
The 4 pillars. The 4 pillars,
People and operations are definitely the most elusive. I think that marketing stuff is pretty easy. Wouldn't you say so, Buck?
I think what it is everyone thinks it's easy until they actually have to execute and drive flow into the business. I think it's the one that's advertised the most generally across the internet, how to market, how to sales, how to market, no one ever, you don't ever get approached.
I don't think people think it's easy. I don't think they think it's easy. I actually think the opposite. I think they think they can figure people out.
Yeah.
And I think they can figure out what they do, but I think that they think they can outsource marketing to a third party and they'll fix it for them.
That's true. Yeah.
So I don't think they think it's easy. I think they think somebody else will solve that problem for them, and they're always disappointed.
Almost like it's the wrong identification of what the real problem is in all 4 of the pillars. Marketing, it seems like you could just outsource it. It's still the same concept. Marketing is marketing, but the identification of what to do with it is, I can outsource it. With people, oftentimes the identification of the problem is that
it's the person's problem,
that it's
not the owner's,
the leader's problem.
I can't find good people. It's hard to hire good people. It's hard to get motivated people. Like, these are what business owners say because they blame the people. Then they end up blaming the marketing, and then they don't look at the operations. And I think that the issue is your people cannot follow your marketing message if your operations don't support the process that you're promoting. And so therefore the fourth pillar, the financial can't catch up because people are unconsciously and unaware going through activity that is not aligned with whatever your messaging is. So the whole point here is what you think is what you say is what you do becomes your legacy. Well, what you think about is what you need to communicate to the public, to the community. What your people do is what you need to be talking about, and that's what you'll be known for. And if you're known for an operation that makes promises on your website and your marketing, and you do not fulfill them in your operations, you're going to default by blaming your people. And the truth is, based on surveying tens of thousands of businesses, those employees don't even know what you're marketing, what you're promoting. And I would venture to bet all my money that if I was to quiz everybody on here to identify the top 3 value propositions that they've got promoted on their website every single day, and then bridge how they've operationalized it with a compensation plan to fulfill that commitment, I'll bet you guys would owe me all your money.
Let's ask the question. What are the 3 value propositions, 1 to 2 to 3 value propositions that you are currently promoting across your ecosystem? Put it in the chat. Let's see what we call the consumer promise is, those value propositions. In stock inventory.
And if you're gonna take Brandon's money, let's hurry up and do this before the wedding gets rolling. So
I'll go from wealthy to broke.
Starting on 0.
She can help me rebuild it.
There you go. Just take it all now, because then all of a sudden it's ours, and I'm not sure I'd be making the same bet with this whole situation, because I do think that there are some business owners who know what they're doing. There's many of you who think that you have the right value proposition.
I didn't say they didn't know what they're doing. I said, I bet they haven't bridged the value proposition that's promised in the website to their operations.
Should we call some people's offices?
Yeah, all we need to do is make one phone call. Anybody, hey, Buck, I can't see because the computer is so far away.
Yeah, I can
whoever's the most confident, just pull them out.
Okay, let's see. Who's the most confident that your value propositions have a bridge to your operational process and structure inside your organization? Who has that ultimate confidence? Who's gonna? It's very quiet in the chat right now, Brandon. That's why they're here. They want to learn how to do it.
I know why they're here, but the point is, this is where you 10x your business, because when you can get all those pillars in alignment, that's where the resistance in the business goes away.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the magic in business starts to happen.
So Lori,
we had a meeting this morning with Grant, Elena, Sherry, Jared, Natalie, and I to talk about all our businesses, where they're at, what they're doing, what our promises are, how we're fulfilling them, and how we're satisfying them. I don't even know if that's a word, but how we're tracking them through the key performance indicators and using stats so that we can cross support all the businesses with all the messaging. Now, people would look at Grant and Elena and they'd say they're so successful and they're so wealthy. Why would they hold those operating meetings? And they're holding it with us because we're all having so much success. We recognize that to keep the success fueled, we need to better leverage into supporting and marketing each other's promise and then fulfilling it.
Yeah, so Lori says she doesn't quite understand what that means to bridge the gap. Can you give an example?
Yeah, let's get Lori. Let's bring Lori on.
All right, Lori Fudens, we're gonna unmute you. So I want you to accept that unmute. Lori Fudens, Fudens. Lori, you with us?
I'm here. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So,
hey, how are you?
Good. Congratulations, you two. I'm really impressed. And I can't even believe you're on this call tonight, you guys. If that doesn't show dedication, I don't know what does, honestly.
We try to always be on the call. We'd
I know.
be with you guys anytime other than just alone.
It's amazing. You're amazing.
Lori, what's
You're
the name
amazing.
of your business?
So my new website is Infinity Hair Training. I did visit your scale workshop. I spent a couple days with you this year, and Heather and all of your team. And so because of all of the influence this year, I did launch my online course, Infinity Hair Training, for hairstylists throughout the world who want to do more training after they finish beauty school, because they all finished on Zoom and basically they don't know anything. And that's my specialty. So I finally finished after a year and a half, all of my stuff. Yeah, thank you. So I launched this week. I have a live webinar, my first live webinar ever this coming Sunday, and I'm filling it with people in my pipeline, which I've learned from you guys. So the
Awesome.
value
awesome.
proposition,
So what are
I'm just not
the
quite sure
top
what
three?
value.
What are the top 3 promises?
Oh, yeah. So I promise that
What are your
they
top
will.
3 promises?
So in the webinar or on the course? Oh, I don't think I hear
On your
you.
website.
Oh, on my website. So
On your
My
website.
yeah, so I take them from rookie to pro in half the time, and I get them to the point of making $30,000 a year right out of school.
Okay, so what's
Hello?
a rookie make? Cut hair.
Yeah. So a
What's wrong with
rookie
my
starts
audio?
out
What's
about,
a rookie make cutting hair? Or
usually a rookie starts out about $20,000 and it's as an assistant, but I jump them up to be basically between 30 and 35 right away.
so is that what a pro makes? 35 grand a year doing hair?
No, but within 150 days, I guarantee they'll be making at least 30 grand.
What's a
That's
pro
just
make
the
though?
beginning. The pros are making over between 100 and 150 grand a year. And that's the next course.
So your promise is you can take them from making 0 to 30 to 150.
So my promise is I take them from beauty school to 30 grand within 150 days.
Okay. And what happens if they don't make 30 grand?
They get a full refund, but they get to work with me until they get there for free, no charge. And I've been doing this for 20 years. So I
And how much do you
guarantee
charge them? How much do you charge them to work with you?
in the beginning, right now, it's only $497 for their course.
That's it? And
That's it.
Gets them guaranteed to 30 grand?
Correct.
All right, I'm going to sign my daughter up tomorrow. She's a hairstylist.
Wow, here we go.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna pay the
guarantee.
500 grand, and we're going to track it. We're going to track her.
500 grand?
Huh?
You're gonna pay the 500
No,
grand?
500 bucks.
You said 500.
It's $500.
Oh, I'm not used to small dollars. You got to raise your prices already.
I will. I have to get some people through my course. I just launched it this week. It's ready.
That's, you know what? I'm very proud of you.
Thank
And
you.
Buck, will you
It's
take
been
a-
wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Snapshot of that. I want to I'll have her go through the program and we'll report on how she's doing.
I love that. Yeah. How many signups have you had since you just launched it? Do you even have your first client yet through this funnel?
So I have 6 through my funnel.
Okay.
I have 72 people who've come through my lead magnet, and I have 17 that have signed up for my live webinar this Sunday, which I hope to get at least 20% of my live webinar attendees to purchase the course by the end of Sunday night.
Very cool. Love it.
So I'm small beans, right? Like I'm just starting. I've been doing hair for 32 years, but my specialty is this. But you guys have taught me how to do all this. Like I now understand the
but
lead magnets.
What I want to say to you though is the doing. You've done what I always say in business, the what you do gets you between 100,000 and 3 million, right? Who you do it with and how you do it gets you to infinity. And what you're learning is that instead of you cutting hair, if you can take and duplicate what you've done, show somebody else how to do it, then you can sell the courses, you can sell the up courses, you can sell masterminds and go out and speak on it once you have a group of people that are conquering it. Maybe even get a sponsorship from somebody that is the materials that they use. There's just so many places to go from it, but I'm proud of you for launching your site, doing these. I know how hard personally, Buck and I can tell you with Natalie, how hard it is to do your first webinar and hope it converts and hope more than 2 people show up. We've been through that.
Yes,
So,
we have.
Wow.
so the fact that you've started this and you're going through the process, I would love to track that with her, Buck, get Brianna involved and let's see where we can take her.
100%.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, I've been educating hairstylists in person on stages ever since I went to GrowthCon. And I see at least 200 hairstylists a week on stage. And this is where I got the idea because Natalie's podcast and you guys talk about model mimic And so that's what I did. And I started videoing myself and it turned into this amazing thing. But it all started with you guys. Like before you guys, I wasn't even in my realm. So I do owe you a lot. So if you would like to become a partner with me, I can blow this thing up. I have sponsorships already and I'm already growing. So I would love to actually talk to you later on, if you don't mind, about a possible partnership and collaborate
That's
more with
awesome.
you.
Well, Buck, let's track it. Let's track it.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, Lori,
Awesome.
look at your direct messages on the Zoom chat. I've sent you my email address. So let's
Thanks a million.
let's make sure we stay.
Track it. Here's to you.
Congratulations.
This is to
Lori.
you, and this is to Natalie, the future Miss.
Oh my God, they're too cute, aren't they? Hey,
They are adorable. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you
Got
so
it.
much. And I listen to every single thing that you guys are putting out and I'm putting it to action. So thank you again. I appreciate you all.
Yeah, you have a lot of support here tonight, Lori. Everyone here knows that you are made of that 10X material, and there's no doubt you're going
Yeah.
to. So,
Yeah, I've been at
night.
all the events. At least I've definitely been showing up. So thanks for the recognition. I appreciate it, you guys.
You got it. Hey, going back, Brandon, to the 4 core pillars, is there ever in your history of scaling, merging, acquisitions, hundreds of companies that you've bought or sold, have you ever seen a business model where you're like, hang on, this only needs 2 out of the 4 pillars, or this has 6 pillars, not 4, or is it every business fits into 4 pillars?
Hang on.
Well, you know, Buck, when the bigger the business is, you see when they get out of alignment. So you think of a round tire, and all of a sudden they're going 100 miles an hour down the highway, and then one side gets flat. One side gets flat, and all of a sudden it takes the whole vehicle out of alignment. And you can feel it when you're driving. Anybody that's ever had flat tires, you're driving, you're like, uh-oh, something bad's happening here. And so the natural inclination when you feel something out of alignment, it's unconscious, is to let off the gas. So what I see with businesses when they start to struggle, something becomes out of alignment, so they let off the gas, and then everything starts to become a problem. And so it's usually one of those 4 areas that causes the start of the problem. But by the time they're so freaked out trying to let off the gas and hope they don't wreck out, they don't have the awareness, or they don't have the alerts in the car to tell them. Like all my sports cars and race cars have lights that tell you what's happening so that you know what the codes are. Most people are just flying by the seat of the pants. They don't have the alerts. They don't have the lights. You know, we were on the jet flying up to a meeting in New York this week.
A couple weeks ago.
Week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And we were taking off, and all of a sudden we heard all these alarms. We've never heard them before. And of course we were freaked out. It's like pull up, stall, pull up, alert.
The most terrifying hour.
For an
of our
hour, we
entire
were terrified.
lives.
Now I kept going up, checking with the pilots. They're like, no, we're fine. We can fly this thing manually, because we didn't actually know what was going on. And we had one of our 3 computers was having a malfunction. And they knew, like, the pilots are skilled. They're like, we can fly this thing all day manually. And so, and I have 2 other computers on the plane. So they just needed to reset and run a reset cycle on that computer. Everything was fine. But there was a good hour where Natalie and I were like thinking we should.
Because the last thing that you're going to do while all of these things are happening, and you see pilots who are trained doing their job and going through the checklist, is to interrupt. Somebody is an expert. You don't interrupt because of your own emotional
I went up there and
state
I was
in order to
standing there
clarify.
looking down, and I'm like, he's in the emergency section flipping through the book. They're as calm as can be. One guy's white knuckled on the I don't know what you call it, the steering wheel. And
But I think this is a good business analogy.
And we stood there. I didn't interrupt him. I didn't say anything.
When people, you interrupted me now.
Well, you didn't let me
times.
finish what I was
You didn't
saying.
let me finish. I was
Here we
This is
go.
our first married couple fight.
First fight, first Dawson
Our first
fight.
fight.
Here we
Oh
go.
my gosh. We don't fight. We just bicker.
Whatever you want to call
But
it.
I think a fight, in order to have fight, to have fought for longer than.
And you have to have
24
makeup.
hours.
You have to have the makeup time too.
Okay. back to the business analogy with a pilot, the last thing that you do is interrupt them because they are skilled, they are trained in that moment. In a similar fashion, Cardone Ventures, this is what we do. We know how to take businesses who are in a state of emergency. At the time, we thought we were in an emergency. We really thought, like, I sent "I love you" text to my
I know
parents.
I sent a text to all my kids. I love you guys, because I didn't know what was going on. She didn't know what was going on.
But the pilots knew what was going on.
And they were calm as could be.
Yeah, they were super calm. We were freaking out in the back. But at some point, you have to trust people who are experts, who know exactly what they are doing and are not thrown out of their way when something comes out of left field, something's malfunctioning. Okay, let's handle it because there's a checklist.
And they're actually trained for that. Like, they probably thrive in that. Like, they probably think to themselves, I'm sure they think, oh, well, at least this isn't going to be just another boring flight. We actually have something to do here. This is how we feel about businesses. When you guys are scared shitless that all things could go bad, we're going through our checklist of how to fix things because we've seen it, we've been there, we've done it. You don't need to worry. Just like my pilots, when I finally interrupted, said, hey, once all the alarms were off, we were stabilized, we were fine for an hour, I went up and tapped him on the shoulder when I saw that they weren't doing anything, and I said, we good? And he goes, oh yeah, we're good, no problem. And then he explained to me what happened. But at no point when they were in the middle of the emergency, in our mind, were we going to interfere with what they were doing. And I think that's the one thing business owners don't have. They don't have somebody up in the cockpit that they can trust, that understands what's actually happening and how everything's synced together when they're in a moment of panic. So if I was flying that plane, who knows what would have happened with it, because I would have freaked out and made all sorts of bad decisions, which I always say in the acknowledge, the 4 A's, acknowledge, accept, right? Acknowledge it, take actions. What we do with businesses, that's what they were doing up in the cockpit. So, Buck, to answer your question, when you have 4 pillars and they're all stabilizing your business and one starts to have an issue, it can create an issue for all.
And there's never been an instance where you don't need all 4 of them. There's not more than that. There's not less than that. The complications as the business is bigger does increase, like the permutations of those 4 pillars get more and more complex because you're doing it through more people. The meeting we had with the Cardone Enterprise team this morning, it's still about those 4 pillars. We touched on finance, we touch on marketing, we touch on operations, we touch on people, but it's the complication of moving all 4 of those, not just for the people in the room, but the teams and the teams and the teams' teams, in order to ensure,
and to make sure they're all supporting each other.
We are going after our mission and why we are really here, which is to help business owners. So how do you then take this into your business as you're sitting here on this call? Whether you have 1 team member, 10 team members, 100 team members, it's still those same 4 pillars, but at what level of complication are you at with those pillars? Are you putting the foundation in? Are you working on tweaking some things so that you can add to the foundation? Or have you accidentally already added and the foundation is cracked and it's not solid?
And you had some, Natalie and I were going over, one of the things we love to do, by the way, when we're together, is read the wins from our clients. Like, we love reading the wins of the week from our actual clients, and the wins that our clients are having because of what they're learning, because of the actions they're taking, because of paying attention to the key performance indicators, the details, the things they're learning. We have so many wins from so many clients we had somebody that increased their revenue by $1 million in 1 quarter. Think about that. 1 quarter, $1 million increase in revenue. Like it's so gratifying for us when somebody gets it, focuses on it, executes to it, and then gets the result. It is actually what inspires us.
And also Lori, like going from not having this course to showing up at an event, being plugged in and all in with our content, and then launching a course this week. For any of you guys who know a hairstylist on this, if you're on this call, send them to Lori, send them to support and show active interest in the success.
You get Lori's content, you learn what she's doing, and then you become an affiliate and you drive people to Lori's because she took the time and energy and effort to film this. I mean, people underestimate the value of making their experience present.
and executing and making it happen and going all in and not being just a spectator, but actually playing the freaking game, getting on the field.
Not a spectator,
So many of our
but an
clients-
activator.
Oh, not a spectator, but an ow. Ooh,
Sorry, I put
Whoa.
my ring on the other finger.
ooh. Not a spectator, but an activator.
An activator.
Love it.
All right. What's
Yeah,
next,
we got
buddy?
some questions. We got some questions coming
So we
in.
might-
Well, it's a little choppy, guys.
I
If
know
you're
we
just
can't
joining
really
us,
tell if there's anybody on here.
these guys are live from Mexico tonight, so apologies for the choppiness. Let's get Chris unmuted. Chris, by the way, if you're new here, here's what I want you to do. I want you to head down to reactions, look for the reactions button, and I want you to raise your hand and ask those questions. If right now your 4 pillars are wobbly, if your 4 pillars are out of balance, if you've got some shakiness and you're taking your foot off the pedal, the way Brandon explained most business owners do, if that's you, if you're in that predicament, this is your moment. You've got about 25 minutes right now. We're going to blaze through some questions with Brandon and Natalie and the rest of the team. So I want you to be able to get your questions in. So raise your hand. Reactions, raise hand. Reactions, raise hand. Make it happen. Don't be shy. Be brave. Bring the question to the table. Chris, what's your question, buddy? Welcome to Owners Live.
Hey guys, good to see you again. Want to talk about marketing real quick. I think that's a pretty shaky leg for my
Let's do it, man. You're
for
speaking
my company. So I'm in the process of interviewing some marketing companies that can help me get to the point of actually marketing this company that I have, and asking the 3 questions that Brandon has trained me to ask. I've gone through that stage, and I'm looking for some additional metrics that I can ask these marketing companies that I need to pay attention to, just to make sure I'm on the right track.
That's such a great question, Chris. Yeah, so you've asked the Brandon questions of how much money have you ever made? What's the biggest thing you've ever built? And how much did you profit off the thing that you built when you exited, basically?
Yeah.
Great,
Yep.
great. There was somebody that called me today and they said, hey, I have an opportunity to get some equity in a company and I need some support asking great questions. And so those are always the best questions. If you're new, look at, is it Dorina? Dorina's like glued to her seat, Chris. She's like, what did they say? What did they say? What was the biggest thing they ever built? How much money did they make? How much did they profit off the sale of their company? So once you've identified that they have qualifications and the ability to produce results, that's really what Brandon's questions are around, right? Mm-hmm. Producing results. Once you qualify that, some great questions are around reporting structure. How do you report results to your clients? The biggest misconception, I did some private coaching today with a client that's using a third-party agency. And his third-party agency reports numbers to him monthly. It's about $15,000 to $30,000 a month. Now that's where he's at today. He's at the $15,000 to $30,000 monthly marketing budget. We call those working dollars, right? And so he's spending those working dollars. And think about this: if he's at $15,000 a month right now, and tomorrow he moves to $40,000 a month, or the next year he's at $80,000 a month. We have clients that'll spend $80,000 to $100,000 a month in e-com or marketing or any one of those owned, earned, or paid platforms. And so as you spend more money in marketing, optimization is key. How quickly can you shift and make decisions based on data? So when you're spending that amount of money and you're getting data reporting every 30 days, you've lost in your ability to optimize. So it's sort of a loaded question when you ask them that. It's what it's going to tell you. If they say, oh, we give you a monthly report and show you how great you're doing, shows me that their eye is not on the data the way it should be. They should be delivering daily reports to you. So that's a great question, is how do you report results? What should I expect from you? Now, if this is an agency that specializes in something very unique, you can always ask that agency to give you daily reports. And any agency that understands how to give daily reports should understand that they can automate that process. So if they give you the excuse of that's not something they do because they can't, it's not a scalable solution for their clients, then they obviously don't appreciate the value of data and how to automate it at scale. So those are a few things to think about. Any agency, I'll answer with just a couple more quick tips. Any agency that tells you they deliver, now you want to ask, what kind of data do you deliver? If they tell you they deliver vanity metrics, now they won't use the word vanity, but if they tell you shares, likes, comments, follows, reach, all of these are vanity metrics. They make us feel good. Oh, wow, we had more engagement. We had comments, we had follows, we had likes, we had awareness, we had shares, we had impressions. Yeah, any of those metrics, I call those crystal ball metrics. We don't discard them. We're not going to completely discard them. But what we are going to do is we're going to look at it like a crystal ball. It sort of gauges, is this moving a needle? And now notice what I said very carefully. Is it moving a needle, not the needle? Because you can move those vanity metric needles, impressions, follows, likes, shares, all those things. You can move them with the wrong person, with the wrong message, and produce 0 conversions. I had 160 people sign up for my webinar, right? We were talking about the webinar earlier. Great. How many people purchased? None. Nobody moved forward. Why? Right? Because there wasn't a conversion, because somewhere you created flow with the wrong persona, the wrong individual. So anyway, I went long on the answer, but data is really where I'd focus in. Once you understand that they have a true business model where they've created success, the best thing you can ask an agency is to give you case studies from like-minded clients or in the same vertical. We give case studies all the time of businesses that we've helped crush it. We have businesses that started at, 100,000 in annual revenue that have crushed it all the way up to 2.2 to 3.5 million dollars. We have $5 million businesses that are doing 10. We have 10 million, so depending on what break point you're at, we have a case study to give you. Agencies should give you case studies. And in those case studies, there's really only one KPI I want you to ask them about: conversion ROI. How much did you spend? How much was paid working dollars versus your service dollars? Okay, sometimes they hide service dollars in the paid budget. Oh, that's going to be a $20,000 campaign. Great. How much of that do you get? Service fees. So I want to know, how much success did you create for that client? How much success did you create, and how much did they spend to create that success? That's it. It's real simple. How much did they spend? How much did they make? 2 questions. That's called ROI. Return
Good job,
on
Buck.
investment. There you go.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All over it, Buck. All over it, bro.
Oh, we're back. We're back. So Brandon, we're going through the 4 pillars and we're answering questions. Chris had a marketing question. Let's keep rolling through though. Are you ready?
I heard you answer it. We could hear you. We shifted so the light was better.
You look great.
This is not my better side. I just want everybody to know this is not my better side. That side is. But I sacrificed.
I want to know which is the better hat.
Which one looks more Cabo style?
For sure, Panama Jack. For sure, Panama Jack's looking good. I like that hat. It's looking good. All right.
We absolutely love. I had that call today with my marketing agency. There you go. So yeah, hey, look, anytime, I'm just going to tell you, you should treat your agencies and your external consultants and advisors the same way we would treat our employees. So when Buck's talking about key performance indicators and incentive plans, there's no rules about how you engage outsiders. And what I would tell you is, if someone comes in to sell you on what they can do for you, you shouldn't like negotiate the price. You should configure the price. Like, don't negotiate, configure. Say, I'll give you 25% in a retainer, and I'll pay you 75% on the succession of what you're promising. Like, don't negotiate, configure. Change it to fit into your business versus haggling on price and then paying some amount that doesn't get you what you want. Let them give you the bid. Let them deliver to you and sell you on all the amazing things they're going to do for you. And you just absorb it and then you configure it. You know what? I want to pay you more than what you offered. But the way I propose it back to you is, instead of giving you a guaranteed retainer, I'm going to give you 25 or 40% down. And then when you do the things you say you can do to drive traffic and people to me, I'm going to pay you an incentive on it. And if you hit the ratio or the threshold you promised, I'll over incent you when you do a better job. The art, what did I tell you was my number one skill on the airplane right over here? Negotiations. Negotiations is everything. How do you think I end up marrying this remarkable human
You
being?
have a valid point.
Negotiation. Buck, how do you think I negotiated your way out?
It's so true.
You have to support me, Buck.
It's so true.
So let me just remind all of you, while you're focused on price, I'm going to suggest you get focused on the negotiation. Like, price is only an issue in the absence of value. So instead of talking price with people, convert it to what is the value you expect from them. And you'll find that conversation quite interesting.
So true. Yeah, it's also interesting because what I think, you know, from a perspective that I've had working with Brandon, and it's true, his negotiations are, I mean, a documentary should be filmed on Brandon's negotiations. There's nothing more fun than watching Brandon negotiate something. What I think the skill set in his negotiation, and it's kind of what he's talking about right now, is the creativity. The fact that there's no box in a negotiation. He creates new boxes. And sometimes people go, you can't do that. That's not a thing. And he's like, yes, it is. It is a thing. And this is what it is. And so I don't know where there's a lack of creativity, right? I mean, I think that's really where the stronghold is for negotiation and working with people and finding better ways.
I think Heather just put in here, Buck, 10x pitch, because I think, don't we have a 10x pitch before the end of the year?
Yes, we do.
And here's the thing, we've booked from people that have brought no's, people who told him, no, we will not work with you, to our 10x pitches. We've done 3 of them, have booked over $78 million. I want you to write that number down. 78 million in contracts.
Yep.
From no's. I will not work with you, no, to $78 million. You know why? Because what we teach you is the power, the art, the skill set of negotiation. And if you don't know how to verbalize and articulate negotiation, then you get what you get, not what you're moving towards.
That's right.
And what I would tell you is we have a 10x pitch.
Brandon, you're breaking up just a little bit. Let me give the details real quick.
And so
it's breaking up a little bit.
Program based on the 78 million, but it's a.
Let me give the details here for a second while he gets his internet back up to speed. November 12th and 13th in Scottsdale. This coming fall, November 12th and 13th, the master of negotiation, Brandon Dawson, will be teaching you how to pitch, how to navigate these conversations seamlessly, how to turn no's into yeses. If you want to do that, show me your hand right now. Show me your hand. Okay, take your phone out and scan this QR code. Open up your camera. This is how it works. You take your camera, just like see my camera right here, and you scan that QR code. Boom, there's the link. Tap the link, and here's what you're going to see. You're going to see a calendar to reserve your seat. Hit that calendar and get 10 minutes with us to discuss how to become a master at pitching, whether it be you, your business, you know, what you're doing, who you're doing it with. Be the master of those conversations. Scan this QR code, schedule a quick 10-minute conversation with Josh Dawson, and let's get you locked for the next 10X Pitch Mastermind in person in Scottsdale in November. Everyone have this? We're going to leave it up. No, we're good. Everyone, anybody else need it? We can if you need it, put it in the chat. We'll send it to you privately if you still need it. Anyway, let's see. Is the internet back up and running? I know we were having issues.
Yeah, it's kind of whatever. We're just going to come in and out on you. This is operating in Mexican time, which but here's what I'm going to tell you. I would be remiss not to go back and mention that Natalie had a remarkable speaking engagement with Elena, who had 10X Ladies this last weekend. It was a unbelievably successful, huge event.
It's true.
The reason I bring that up is because in our morning meeting this morning with the team organizing, we recognize what a void there is in aligning partners, husbands and wives, spouses, business partners. So we're going to roll out a program that Elena's going to build. She's already built a lot of it, but convert it over to also business partners that we're going to announce. We're so excited about this. And by the way, Sasha, thank you for the amazing picture you painted of Natalie and I.
Unbelievable.
Of the moment we came out of the ocean as a married couple.
You don't get to cry. Don't cry. No tears.
It was such a beautiful picture.
It's a happy time.
Yeah, thank you. That was very kind of you.
So sweet.
But I'd be remiss in not mentioning, sorry, I got a little emotional. It's such a great picture. Yeah, I really love that moment. So here's the thing. It's like we're always thinking as a team how we can create more value and add more value to each and every one of you. And I will just say that I wanted to bring that up because you got 10X Pitch, you've got all the programs, 360. We have a 360 coming up. Natalie, this is the quality of woman I'm marrying. She said to me, we cannot go and get married, spend 5 days doing that, and then another 5 days on our honeymoon and not put an event on the end of it, or we will feel like we have nothing going on. So we literally booked, not this weekend, but next weekend, a 10X 360 in Florida. We've already got 15 businesses, 28 people coming. We only have room, I think, for another 3 to 5 business owners before that whole program's tapped out for Miami. So if you are even remotely thinking of joining us for a 10X 360, I know Josh is on here. You shot that QR code. Feel free to ask Josh about the 10X 360 program. We'll be fresh off our honeymoon, rolling in hot.
Hot and serious.
Oh, there's that QR code pop back up.
That's it. Scan it. Scan the QR code and set that call. We want to help you.
Get an opportunity to be at the first 10X 360 with Natalie and I as a married couple. And we might have some extra surprises. We might be extending the wedding party over to that first 10X 360, but you got to show up to find out.
Love it. Love it. By the way, if you are new and you're like, what's a 10X 360? Believe it or not, all those fundamentals we've been talking about, the 10X 360 covers how to build your business appropriately from the foundational elements of those 4 pillars: marketing, sales, operations, people, finances. We go through that structure over 2 days straight. That's exactly what we talk about.
And we had somebody ask about 10X 360 on virtual. The answer is yes. We have a specific and special virtual structure for our 10X 360. Love to have you join virtually. Anybody that joins virtually can come at any point in time in the future to a live event as well.
Love it. All right, we're gonna get Joe to ask a question. Joe, you're gonna take us home here. What's your question? Live from Mexico, Brandon and Natalie Dawson.
So guys, first of all, first time caller, second time listener. I don't know if that went right. I didn't realize I still had my hand up because I was having my hand up for the pitch thing, and we were supposed to say we were supposed to raise our hands. So I am ridiculously limp.
Joe, any value we can bring you tonight?
Joe, what kind of business? Hey, Joe, what kind of business you got?
Oh, sure. So I am in the mortgage business, and I actually have a few partners on, and we are actually going to be moving into a new field where we're going to be trying to generate generate leads within the mortgage business. And we have a different way of doing it that seems like it's going to be, really successful. But I did put in a chat before that, we're really putting everything together right now and getting a little nervous about scaling, having all the right pieces in place. So really in the beginning stages, we're getting ready to launch, but it's exciting and slightly terrifying.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, congratulations. I would say we've dealt with hundreds of businesses in the mortgage space who have expanded into lead gen for realtors and other areas. So if you choose to think it's beneficial for the space you're in.
Yeah, no, I missed a little bit of the end, but I was hanging on every word.
We're just hoping we can help you get big fast.
Yeah, please. That would be amazing.
Awesome.
Thanks, bud.
Joe, thanks for showing up
us,
tonight.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, buddy. All right, let's grab a quick question from Jared. Jared's been diligent with his hand up this entire time. 10X Owners Live. What's up, Jared?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, brother. Love the jacket as always.
Hey, I appreciate it. I had to show up. Brandon, Natalie, congratulations, guys. Super excited to be on the call as always. My question is going to revolve back to operations. And one thing I've admired always about anybody from Cardone, whether they've worked for the company for a year or a week, I will ask them, like, hey, how long have you worked there? And some of the guys respond they've worked there for a week, but it seems like they've worked there for years. So I've always admired that. I have a couple of new hires coming on this week. So my question revolves around operations. And the direct question is, what are some of your best onboarding processes to ensure alignment, which we've been talking about a lot recently?
One of the fastest and cheapest ways to onboard a brand new team member to understand if they are bought into your philosophies, but also willing to do something that is maybe uncomfortable for them, is through requiring reading. So as business owners, as leaders, Jared, as a business owner yourself, you know that you've read books, you've read the 10X rule. The 10X rule really resonated with you. Sell or be sold likely really resonated with you. When you have a brand new team member come on board, that one of the first things that they do, you pay for it, but it's an 8-hour time frame where they are reading through these books and getting that knowledge and getting the same learning that was transformational for you, so that early on you can understand if they're going to be a fit or not a fit. Most people don't read a book in a year, and there's the statistic around successful CEOs who read, I think it's a book a month. So how can you create that in the culture to allow the ultimate alignment from a philosophical standpoint? For you to chime in.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and Cardone U, every single morning, and after 7 days, if they watch 3 modules and you role play with them and they butcher it, they're not paying attention, or they're worse, not logging in, they're not watching it, that will tell you everything you need to know based on the engagement within 7 days. So
that's a really good point.
And you can kind of fake your way through a book, but when you're training on 3 to 5 Cardone U modules every morning and sitting with the owner and role playing, we role play every single morning with 75 employees. Our morning meetings take 15 minutes. If we spin a wheel and whoever comes up has to role play. If Natalie goes on 5 minutes before the call and she sees that somebody has not trained on those modules that morning, we will also call them out and say, let's go over your training. And if they lie to us and say they did it, that's a warning. Second one is a written warning. Third one is dismissal from the organization, because nobody can trust a liar, first of all. And if they're lying to you, they're lying to your clients. So the most important thing is having a process in place that immediately says to your team, we're going to grow as a team, we're going to have discipline as a team, we're going to execute as a team, and if we don't, you're out.
Yeah, I love that. And I just got all of my agents and employees signed up on Cardone U, so I need to pay attention to that better.
There's no better tool in the world to run a business, because a Gallup poll surveys 100 million US workers every single year. 2/3 of those workers voluntarily state that they're disengaged, or 18% of them actively disengaged, sabotaging your organization. The only way to know who's engaged is to have a tool for engagement. And then you need to engage them to see who's serious about it. Because the next evolution of success is identifying thinker, doer, thinkers who can do according to great thinking. So either you're doing the thinking or you're training the doers. And if you're not doing that as a business owner, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Really appreciate it, guys. Congratulations again. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you. In fact, here's to you, brother. We appreciate you.
Cheers.
There you go, Jared. There you go, brother.
Cheers to
Thank
all
you,
of
guys.
you. Thank you guys for joining us on our wedding week.
Nice. Love it. Hey, anything you want to say before we wrap up Owners Live as an unmarried couple going into your wedding and joining in holy matrimony? Anything you want to close out with?
Well, Brandon is likely going to start crying, so I'm not going to let him take over. And
Let him do it.
We appreciate.
I'm not going to cry. I'm so excited. I get to marry the love of my life. I get to spend time with the community that I adore and love.
Yeah.
And we just really appreciate you guys.
This for me, a wedding and this weekend is going to be a fantastic celebration of everything that our past is, but what we are, I mean this wholeheartedly, what we are so incredibly excited about is how we can help you, what the future looks like. I see April just hired her first employee, like so exciting and rewarding to us, and we cannot wait to crush it with you. We've always been in alignment, but we're going to just tighten the knots so we're even tighter in alignment, and we're ready to help you guys scale and grow your businesses, because that truly is the legacy that we want to have with our marriage and our relationship and this partnership.
Appreciate
great.
you guys. Happy Tuesday, 10X Owners Live.
Bye guys. See you next
Appreciate
week.
you. See you next week as a married couple.
Bye, guys. Have a great Tuesday. Back to Ashley, Enrique, and Josh for all your questions about 10X Pitch, 10X 360, and of course, any other questions about Cardinal Ventures and how we can help you blow up your business. Let's blow it up. We'll see you guys next Tuesday.
The whole purpose of this show is to engage with business owners and be able to answer questions for people that will give them some insight and perspective on how to grow and scale a business. Not only leadership, but real life examples. This is the golden moment. I would do business with you right now.